Hi everyone, out and about again, and I am in London, down a little alleyway just near Covent Garden, and I have come to Blacklock today. Now this is apparently one of London's best value chop houses. Great food at great prices, that's what I'm told. We're going to get inside and find out all about it though. Is it going to get Greeno's green light? Only one way to find out, isn't there? Come on. Well then guys, so we've come in and been seated. Basically you come down some stairs, so we're basically underground I think. And the restaurant here has got a really nice feel. There's some nice background music going on and it's really set out kind of smartly, but there's an industrial feel to it as well. Lots of brickwork, metal work along the ceiling, that sort of thing. So it's a really cool, different kind of place to a lot of places I've been to recently. Tables of all sizes, little tables for two. I can see a table for 12 set up. So they cater for all sizes of party if you come down here. The menu is pretty much meat-based. There are a couple of meat-free options, with a cauliflower chop and a mushroom and leek skewer, but we're not going to be going for that today. Absolutely no chance. This place is all about the meat. So, there is something called an all-in, which we're going for. This basically has all the different types of chops that they do, with some flatbreads and a couple of sides. We ordered a couple of sauces to go with it, some gravy, some béarnaise. This is going to be a proper feast, I'm sure of it. You can get steaks, you can get individual chops as well. Lots and lots of different options. But we want to try a little bit of everything. And that's what we're going to do. One thing that's a really nice touch here, when you order that all-in meal, they bring you across some little sort of amuse-bouche, if you like. 3 little pre-chopped bites, they call them. So first up here, just going to refer to the menu, we have potted meats and kimchi. Then the next one is egg and anchovy, with a little bit of, maybe that's olive or something on top, don't know. And then a cheese and pickle, which is very different to anything cheese and pickle I've seen before. That is not Branston, is it? So let's give them a try. First up, the potted meats and kimchi. This is basically just a one-bite job, so let's get it in. Very, very crispy cracker. You probably picked that up on the microphone, I guess. There's a hint of chilli in there too. Kimchi, got a nice bite to it. But yeah, definitely a pronounced chilli flavour in there. That is really, really interesting. I'm surprised by that. So much flavour, but quite a lot of heat. So that's going to be too much heat for some people, I reckon. Okay. Little drink of water and we'll move on to the egg one. On to the next one, we have the egg and anchovy here. There's quite a bit of red onion on top of there, which is not always my favourite. Maybe we'll just see how strong that is right from the outset. No, not too bad. Very, very thinly sliced. So as you can see here, nice sort of egg mayo on there with some anchovy. It is actually anchovy on the top, not olive, obviously. Let's give it a try. The egg mayo has got a nice little texture to it. The egg has been quite finely diced, but you can still pick up the fact that there's little chunks of egg white in there. The anchovy on there gives a real hit of saltiness. You can barely even taste that onion actually, with the intensity of the flavour of that anchovy. It's just very much a background note. That is really clever the way they've done that, because I thought that onion might be too much. It really isn't. That's my favourite one so far. One more to try. Right, the final one is the cheese and pickle. And like I say, this is not anything like cheese and pickle I've seen anywhere before. It's kind of almost like a mini ploughman's on a cracker. Lots of different pickled elements on there. I can see cucumber, there's pepper, bit of onion in there. Let's give it a try. Wow. I think that's a blue cheese that's on there. A very, very pronounced cheesy flavour. But all the little vinegary elements, they're almost like a sweet pickle. A bit like you'd find in Central European pickles. Not harsh at all, but with the real intensity of that blue cheese flavour, it just brings up a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of sharpness, and it just balances everything else out. That, again, is a really clever little flavour combination. And to get these as basically a little freebie ahead of the meal, absolute winner. Really, really good. Right guys, we have had this feast delivered to the table now. Doesn't it look amazing? This pile of meat, wow. We've got different cuts of pork on here. This looks like some belly pork here. There's pork chops, lamb chops, there's beef, all soaking into that bread that's underneath it. That bread is gonna be delicious with all those juices going in there. A couple of sides too. We've got some lovely chips here. These are beef dripping chips. And just across here we have some charred baby gem lettuces with a sort of anchovy dressing on there, so I'm really interested to try that. And then just a couple of sauces to go with it. We've got the Blacklock gravy there and some béarnaise sauce. Wow. I'm just astounded at this. This is a real treat. I'm going to get tucked into it right now. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a selection of this meat first, and we're going to try them before we get into the sides. Nice little tongs here to go in with, so we haven't got to rely on your cutlery. So look at this, we've got a lovely kind of pork. It's almost like a rib piece, I think, there. And I'll pick one of these lamb chops. We'll get that on the plate too. And a piece of beef. Nice looking piece of steak there. Look at that. Wow. So, without further ado, sharp knife required. Let's get in and try them. So we're just going to start with this pork. Now, like I say, this looks like a kind of rib piece or a belly piece of pork. So quite fatty, but having been cooked on the grill, I am sure that fat is going to have been rendered down nicely and be really, really tasty. So let's give it a try. You can really taste that grilling on there. It's not so much that it's kind of burnt anything on here, it's just giving it all that flavour. The pork fat is so soft. Sometimes pork fat can be a bit chewy if it's not cooked enough. It just melts in your mouth. Wow, that is absolutely delicious. And it's probably, out of the three meats, my least favourite. So I'm looking forward to the others. We'll move on to the beef here. Now this is obviously just a cut of a piece of steak. We have a little layer of fat here on the outside. So we'll try it with that, because of course fat is where the flavour is. Cooked pink in the middle there. Again, the flavour where it's been kissed with the flame on that grill is exceptional on the outside. The beef itself is really tender and cooked just how I would like it. Nice and pink in the middle. So tender though. That is delicious. I'm looking forward to trying the béarnaise sauce with that in a little while. And let's move on to this lamb chop. Now this is a lovely looking lamb chop. Sometimes, like if you buy lamb chops in the supermarket or somewhere like that, they're a bit measly, aren't they? Here, this one is quite a sizable one. Now let's cut into this. Again, served pink in the middle, which is really nice. And again, that fat is cooked beautifully. Possibly a slightly more pronounced charred flavour on there this time than there was with the pork or the beef. But lamb can stand that because it's a more intense flavoured meat. My goodness me. That is so good. That I think is going to go really nicely with this gravy in a minute. Delicious. I'm going to crack on with this and then we'll get stuck into the sides a little bit. Time to try some of these sides. We've got this charred baby gem lettuce here with the anchovy dressing. That looks really interesting to me. There should be a really intense flavour in that dressing, I think. and we got these chips. Now these just look spectacular. These are beef dripping chips. They look so crispy. I really can't wait to try them. So I'm just going to grab a couple of these. In fact, I'll probably just pull one out for now, actually, and try it. Get the cutlery out of the way. We don't need cutlery with chips, do we? Wow. That is so crispy. They are incredible chips. They're already seasoned. They've got salt on there, but it almost tastes like there's some vinegar on there already as well. That is pretty much a perfect chip. It is so crispy on the outside, and the inside is so soft, not dry. My goodness me. I'm going to have to stop myself eating all of those. Let's move on to this lettuce. I'm going to chop a little bit out of there with some of the dressing on there. So this has been charred on the grill. It won't be cooked all the way through, but it'll have some softness to it and then the crunch of the rest of the lettuce. So it's just warm, and that dressing on there is incredible. Not overly heavy on the anchovy flavour, that's just adding a saltiness. There's a little bit of shallot or something in there for an oniony flavour. Wow, that is a nice little twist on a side salad, it really is. What we need to do now is also try these little sauces. So I'm going to get some of this béarnaise sauce here. It just comes in a little pot with a spoon. Nice and creamy. You can see the tarragon running through there. And that's going to go with my beef. We'll get a bit of that on there. And in this little gravy boat, we have the Blacklock gravy. This I'm going to pour onto the lamb. Here we go. Look at this. Oh, that looks unctuous and delicious. So, let's try both of these. We'll go with the béarnaise sauce on the beef first. It's a classic combination, isn't it? I've already had on the channel quite a few times steak with béarnaise sauce. And that is delicious. Again, a nice little vinegary hit from it. Lovely and creamy. The tarragon is quite pronounced in there. Nice kind of aniseedy flavour from that. That's really good. I think this gravy might even be better though. Just looking at it, it looks phenomenal. So let's cut a bit of this lamb off. Obviously these meats are all cooked on the bone, so that gives them an intense flavour, but you have obviously got to cut the bone away. Let's try this gravy. Good Lord. That's insane. I don't think I've ever had gravy with that intense a flavour before. It's got a saltiness, there's a pepperiness to it as well, but just such a depth of meaty flavour. It complements the lamb beautifully. Wow. I gotta say, from what we've had so far, there is nothing that I don't like. And I still have got those breads to try. Just gonna leave them sitting there, marinating in the juices. We'll try them in a moment, but so far, amazing. Right, so we've been picking away at this. We've intentionally left the bread for 5 to 10 minutes underneath whatever meat is left, so that it's soaking in everything from the plate and everything from on top of it. This is going to be full of flavour. So let's just move this pork chop out of the way. There we go. And grab some of this bread. Look at this. It's almost soggy with so much meat juice in there. So, not going to muck about again, just going with my hands. Oh, look at this. Can you see how kind of moist that is now? That is just going to be flavour. Every time I try something different from this food, it's just incredible. The amount of meat juices that have soaked into this bread. The bread itself is delicious. Again, it's got that charring on there from the grill. That gives it flavour. The juice is going in there. That gives it flavour. It's lovely and soft inside. Yet still retaining a little bit of crisp on the outside. It's like, you know when you have a dirty kebab on a Friday night The best bit is often the bread at the bottom, isn't it? Well, imagine you had a really, really, really high-class kebab. That's what this bread is. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Right then guys, finished everything on the table here. Absolutely outstanding, but we'll talk about that more outside in a minute. Been past the dessert menu, just a couple of items on there. Sounds good, but literally can't eat another thing right now. Absolutely amazing. One other thing I wanted to mention to you and for you to see, I'm here on a midweek lunchtime, booked to come in really early, 12 o'clock sitting, have a little look around. Look how busy this place is. Absolutely rammed, every table full. That is how popular this place is, and with good reason. Well, that was incredible. That was Blacklock in Covent Garden. What a restaurant. So, we had the two-person sharing platter, the all-in dish. That was just outstanding. All the different meats on there, cooked beautifully, nice and pink in the middle, and really, really tasty. One thing to note, like I say, it's on the menu as a two-person platter. Table next to us, we did hear the guy ordered it as a one-person thing for half the price. So if you come down and you don't want to share that, you can just get that as an individual dish, and it still looked incredible what the guy got. Absolutely brilliant. So on to the bill. Don't forget also, we got those free little hors d'oeuvres at the beginning. They come as part of the deal. £54 for that all-in platter. And there is plenty there for two people. You could probably even feed three people with that, I would say. £2 for the béarnaise, £3 for the gravy, service charge of 12.5%. You're going to get that everywhere in London. The whole thing came to £66.37. For the amount and the quality of food we got there, I think that is cheap anywhere in the country, let alone Covent Garden. Just think about it like this, guys. If you order that as a one-person platter, £27, compare that to like a Harvester mixed grill, that's going to cost you £22, £23, £24, I guess. And it's chalk and cheese, let me tell you. This stuff is incredible. I've got to come up with a score now. Now, I said in a previous video, I've got to start being a little bit more picky. There's nothing here I can be picky about. I mean, could I give it a 6 out of 5? Does that exist? Because that's what I want to do. Do you know what? It's my scoring system. If I want to break the rules, I'm going to. Blacklock in Covent Garden, that's a 6 out of 5 from me. Greeno's green light. Look at this big green door behind me. That is as green as the green light that I give to this place. Absolutely outstanding. Okay, guys. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed eating here. If you have, don't forget to click a thumbs up. And if you really enjoyed it, why not consider clicking the subscribe button. You can always ding the notification bell too. YouTube will let you know when the next video comes up then. Right, where to next? I don't know, but it's going to have to go some to be as good as this place. I'll see you then.